everybody. A couple minutes early. How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to the broadcast. Probably getting a couple of things done tonight. We'll see how deep it actually goes. But we can show off one finished project. We can we can do a second project, and then if we get a crowd, maybe we'll do a third. We'll see. See how everybody's feeling tonight. So let's all plug in and say hello. All right. Boom. Hey, what's up, guys? Grove Sleeper PNW here. How's everybody doing today? Let's turn that music down to just some background vibes. Hey, Mally says hi too, with a big yawn. There we go. Some nice chilled music. I just wanted to get a couple of projects done tonight, you guys. Oh, I know it's getting late, girl. We're not going to sit through any long delays either. We're going to get right to it. Let's start up. If anybody's new to the channel, I'm Grove Sleeper PNW. I like to do bonsai and other related types of projects. I have a grove of about 50 trees and probably at least 50 starts and propagations outside. So as always, it's AMA. If you have any questions about bonsai, I can answer to the best of my ability. Or related arts, which we're actually working on Kusamono tonight. So let's get popped on over here to the project scene. Boom. All right, here's tonight's subject, everyone. There we go. A nice little view. Everything looks all set up good. Let's change our scene here. For our bonsai work, we did our ashtray yesterday, and I can show that to you guys how it looks finished tonight. But we're doing a Lego. Let me see here. I want to make sure that I'm spelling my stuff right. Kusamono, right. Okay. So Kusamono is essentially moss tending and small flower tending, things like that. Feel free to look it up if you like. Very cool little art though. And I say little because I am able to pull off lots of small projects when I do these Kusamonos. So that opens up a lot of new possibilities for different types of streams. Today is 5 streams in a row, guys. Wowza. We've been playing some Project Zomboid, we've been playing some games, we've been doing some different types of work on bonsai, and I've got lots of exciting stuff to show you guys tonight that's going into this piece that's going to surround. Let's see. I had a good setup yesterday with the camera and everything where it wasn't really in my way. People will try a bit more like that. Sure, that leaves me room to work with you guys. I'm gonna want to throw some gloves on for this project, so let me just pull out my toolbox, my box of tools. Let's see, what's gonna be necessary for this? Probably one of these. Some little pieces of wire that could be helpful, but I'm not gonna get them quite out yet. Some little pokey sticks and things like that in here. Some little clippers. Bigger clippers if I need them, but I don't think I will. This razor blade. This will be probably useful. So there's a handful of our tools right there. And the goal here, guys, is to make a nice big moss ball area for this to live on. Because I found that this is the exact size of the little trainer pot bottoms. So if I can get one of those set right in the middle of some nice mossy base, that could be a really cool looking little live project with the bricks. So I'm gonna leave them actually right there so you guys can see them on cam too and everything while we work. And switch over just a hair. And this is the pot we're gonna be using. I don't mind using a real pot for this. It's a pretty shallow one. Here's a similar project that I just wrapped up yesterday. Actually, today I wrapped this up. It was the subject of a stream a couple days ago. And it is our little cigar holder. So here's our last one. Kind of a little cigar holder ashtray project that we made. Very fun, very cool little thing. So you can kind of like set your cigar or whatever over on this side. While over on this side, it's all lush and alive. What do you guys think of that? Nice pillowy moss on this backside. This is actually really beautiful moss. I love this stuff. Shame it's on the back. But I wanted the more long, creepy stuff coming down over the rock here. Just to add a little extra character. Kind of cascades over the rock right here. Where the rock recedes back. I like that. And it'll continue to kind of fall into place, and some of these have to hit the sun a little bit and perk up a little. But we've got a little Siberian elm that's wired over a stone with some nice flat moss behind it right there. And then this little creepy plant right there should start creeping out over this. So all in all, I had so much fun making this. We did lose the wall because it dried out too quick, but this whole thing might actually look cooler if I set it now this way and it looks more like kind of like a rough hewn wall. I'll have to figure out how to make that look best. Maybe I put it on its side, so it almost looks like it was built there on purpose. Otherwise, we can just get a little more muck wall adhesive and stick it back on how it was. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. It does have a little bit of an outward taper, which I don't love. Actually, maybe it was backwards this way. No, it was definitely this way. But yeah, this could use a little repair. But what a cool little project this was. I'm gonna give it a little misting right now, actually. So this is kind of the goal, to have our Lego rest somewhere in the middle of something like this. Uh-oh, come on now. Hang on, I think I put my water bottle back together wrong. These are really good water bottles, but sometimes they get caught. And they'll have the little pieces come out. I've got to get the tubing back in. Got to retube my sprayer. You know, one of those things. It's kind of a pain if the bottle's not taken apart even more. Well, luckily I have 3 more of them, so if this one fails on me, I can always switch out. They were only like $4 each. Yeah, it does seem to have a little bit of a connection problem. I'm gonna have to fix that later. So I'm just gonna pull that lid, or that sprayer and lid combo. Just get a new one. This one's brand spanking new. And when these work, I actually highly recommend these bottles. That's the first time I've had one break on me at all. But generally, they work really well. Gotta turn it on first. And then there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same type of treatment. I'm gonna have to spray down this little thing every single day to keep the moss all alive and healthy, but it's worth. Also a little tree in there, a little Siberian elm. It won't grow too big because it's in a pretty small basin here, but it was in a mame pot, so it has a little more room to grow than it used to. Anyway, wanted to show that off before we jumped into tonight's project. What do you guys think? The bonsai ashtray. A worthy endeavor. I had a lot of fun making it. I just got to get this piece put back on there. Anyway, so there's that. Just set it off to the side for right now. I have it actually balanced so that it'll drain onto this trainer tray. But the reason this actually originally broke loose was because I tried lifting it and pressing down at the same time, and it ended up popping it off. So it may have held had I not messed with it before it cured, but c'est la vie. We'll do the fix later. For now, let's get working on this project. This is gonna be so cool. So for a base layer, first off, I just have a little cup full of, I guess we'd kind of consider junk rock. Well, I think I'd rather put clean rock in here. I got some kind of junk rock, and I don't really want to use that. If I had some larger lava, that'd be nice. That's all akadama. I'm not gonna use that. I guess I'll just use lava, it's fine. And then I'll use some of this composty stuff up above it. So for this first base layer, I'm just gonna put down a good cup, actually, well, handful, a couple of handfuls. I don't have a cup right in front of me, of just lava rock. It's mostly just to hold these little drains in place. I'm not going crazy with too much stuff on top of this. I'm not wiring trees in and stuff, so this should hold the drains in place. As soon as I get one nice layer across the bottom, should be happy. This is definitely going to ensure that the whole thing drains properly, because the last thing we want is pooled water in any of our pieces. And since this one is getting little daily waterings, I will have one plant in here that's going to be a little bit of a live house plant. I've got a little spider plant that can be growing off in one corner here. And I think I have this perfect little cup that I can actually plant this into. And I'm trying to think, if I keep it low enough, I should be able to place the tray still on top of it. So let's test that theory out real quick. This is also a cracked pot, so I feel a little bit more comfortable using this for just a little micro project rather than putting a tree in it, because the last thing you want to do is be moving a bonsai and then the pot snaps in half. Alright, so the stabilizer tray here is going to look like this. But it needs to be centered. This thing's gonna have to go like all the way to the edge, but I think we can make it work. Okay. All right, guys. If this works out, it's gonna be brilliant. This is gonna be a really cool project here. So I'm carefully clearing back from this corner because I want to recess this little plastic tray a bit deeper, but I don't want to move the screen guards that are right below it. Can you guys see okay? Is it a good view? My long lanky arms, my skinny little wrists. Jeez, maybe we should zoom in closer. Actually, we will do that. Hang on. You guys can get closer to the action. There. How's that? Nice close-up. Pretty much all the action there now. Nice. Sweet. Okay. So I guess this is just choose a corner. We've got to choose what our front's going to be. This is cracked. This is a bit dirty. So I guess that this will be considered our front. And I think I do want this coming off of the back like this. Actually, I kind of wanted it coming off the front, so I'm gonna have to scoot the other way. Want it coming off of this front left corner. It's gonna be a very unique little piece when all is done. I need to do commissions. If anybody wants any type of commission, I just made an ashtray. I'm making a base for my Lego set. If you want to get on board with any type of commissions, just send me a DM. All right, I'm starting to see that drain right there. So I think that if I set this down just like this, it's gonna be low enough that it's not bugging anything. One second. Brush everything away so I got my screen down straight again. I can even kind of stuff it in there a little bit. There we go. Kind of pushes everything out of the way. Hang on. I'm gonna have to try to redo this. I failed. Oops. Almost knocked my Lego too. This time, this thing is actually gonna get held down by this little plastic tray. New approach. Yes. Check this out. Okay, as always, we use our chopstick to spread. That definitely needs like some weight in it, and it needs to drain. So I need to like poke a hole in it. Wish I thought of that faster, but I can use a little razor action here. Here I got a little razor knife that I can just cut a drainage hole in the bottom of the plastic to make sure we don't drown our plant. There. Here, I'm just gonna do it the safer way and pull it out. I can do this against a proper surface now, guys. Do it against the proper surface. Don't hurt yourselves by trying to be lazy. You're hearing it from me. It's better to just do it the safe way than end up with a cut hand. So now we've got a nice full drainage through the bottom. We're gonna have to relay this again, but you know what? Everything's seeming to cooperate pretty well. So pack that all in here. And drop the mama in. It's gonna come out all the way this direction. leaving perfect space for this. Nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and put some substrate into here that the little plant can live in, and close up your knives when you're done. Safety first, everybody. All right, where is our good substrate for that plant? How about, where's a little bit of this like potting soil mix, and then I'm probably gonna use sphagnum and use a little bit of like potting soil mix and some sphagnum and stone. I'll use that first because it acts as a good filter again. To just drop the rocks on there. It's also gonna weigh them in just a little bit. And then I've got some sphagnum moss right in front of me. Where was it? Spago. Oh, I was actually gonna use this stuff. It's a mix. Okay, so I've actually got a mix of sphagnum moss and stone here. So I'm gonna start dropping some layer of sphagnum in. Mixing with some more stone. More sphagnum and stone. Nice little filtration layer, and also holds in a bit of moisture. It's going to drain freely, but also have some moisture right where that plant is in the middle. Yeah, actually, you know what? We're putting the plant to this side, so I better make this side clear for the plant. This is what I call the nice guy mix. I got some of this nice soft sphagnum, and also generally this stone isn't too hard on these plants. It's not super rounded off, but it's a little rounded off. Then I think it's probably gonna just like this topsoil here. It's pretty much from a nursery pot. I'm gonna just kind of lay that on this backside here. That's kind of our main growth substrate. There's even a bit of lava. And I find a piece of akadama here and there in this stuff because it all kind of gets recycled from one batch to the next. All right, let's pop this little mama out. This little mame. This thing will actually probably work perfectly. Watch this. Oh, yep. Out we go. All right. Whoop, there it goes. So this was the hard part. Getting this one out of the mame pot and into some dirt. I'm gonna leave all that natural dirt around it because it's got lots of fast draining stuff below. And then we're just gonna kind of repot this thing really quick. There's gonna be a layer of lava at the top as well to hold it all in place. This stuff is real fine, so it should be good. Yeah, and this should all pack in so that it's not super tight that it's gonna compact and hold water and stuff, but it should do the job of holding everything in place there. All right, so I'm just gonna take my chopstick and kind of poke everything down into this little hole here where there can be some backfill. Press down with my fingers and the chopstick really quick for the first press. I really want to get some stuff up in front here because it didn't really dump in front, so gotta pull it all around all those roots that were inside the mame pot. There we go. And that's nicely encapsulated it from below with sphagnum moss. So that's gonna give it a really nice head start. This thing is gonna start growing much faster now that it's not in that tiny little pot anymore. I had it in there for a couple of weeks just for fun because I'm running out of places to put my spider plants. I've got so many clones of spider plants, I don't know what to do with them all. I'm addicted to cloning my spider plant. Just give it all a little bit of water, let it all seep in. This is going to be kind of the starting point right here of all of our live matter. So I've got to build everything up to that point. And that's where I wanted to get a little bit more of my like large grit. Stuff here. And it's even got a little dirt mixed in. And oh, Mally, did I startle you? This is a little bit larger grit stuff. It's mostly lava rock with a little bit of natural dirt. Mostly lava rock and some pieces of bark though. So this is really good filler to put all through here. There, that's gonna fill up that pot perfectly with stuff that's gonna drain quick. It's not gonna rot out, but it's also gonna be something for everything to grab onto. Oops. So let's see how it fills the pot. It'll hold enough moisture that it'll keep everything alive, but right below this layer that's only maybe 1.5 inches or so, it drains very quickly. So as long as I can manage it, just that top 1.5 inches of moisture, everything should work together nicely. So I'm gonna have to pack all this stuff down. Let me just spread it out as much as I can. Bring a little more this way. Some of these little like large pieces can even go around the plant. I just need to make sure that there's nothing blocking the tray. Oh, actually I can use the tray to press everything down. That'll work nicely. So let's push everything kind of the outsides here. There is going to be one layer of sphagnum moss over the top of this for all of our Kusamono to grab onto. But I think that this is about the right level that we want all of that. So I'm just going to use this thing here. It's got a little bit of rooting hormone on it. I'm going to wipe that off. It needs water. It's okay. 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 Good. So I'm seeing that this thing is staying below the level of the edge of the pot, which is perfect. That's right where I want it. Pack this stuff in, pack this stuff in, this stuff in. And guys, this is just kind of the boring setup part right now. We are about to get over to the sphagnum moss, and then we get to add all of the cool, colorful decorations to this pot. So stay tuned in. Make sure to like and follow and subscribe and all that fun stuff if you like this type of content. And if you get sent over to Adland, I'm very sorry. I try to keep the ads as minimal as possible, but these streams do cost money. So your subscriptions and Patreon donations and everything are super, super helpful. We also love getting subs so you don't have to watch those ads. So thank you so much to Tassadul for 12 months of subbing. Or no, 11, sorry. 11 months yesterday. So nearly 12 months of subbing. And I mean, this channel is like barely even over a year old. It's only like, what, 1.5 years maybe? So you've been here pretty much since day one. Since Q1 for sure. Since Q1. Alright, so right here I'm just packing everything down so it'll stay nice and level here. Because everything is going to get an even layer of that sphagnum across. But I want this part to be especially compact right there. Okay. Let's move a couple things around real fast. So I'm digging this so far. I think that that's pretty much centered. Centered there. And it's centered there. It just looks lopsided because of the stain in the plant, but I'm almost sure that that's dead center right there. So there she is. All right, time to break out some of the fun stuff here. I want to make sure that we have enough room so I can show you guys as much as what we're working with as possible. I could put some decorative rocks around this plant if I wanted, just to be nice and simple. Because there's really not all that much surface area left to cover up. I don't want to build up. That's getting excessive. So let's put our layer of sphagnum. It'll go above the pot, and then we'll have our raised up tree, and then that should look good. Okay, I'm feeling good about that. So let's see, my big cup of sphagnum moss was right over here. It's all wet, so I'm gonna have to wring it out really quick. So here's the stuff. I'm gonna see if I got my gloves somewhere nearby here. Please have some gloves. I've got to put gloves on for this, guys. It's really messy. Oh, there's an ad progress anyway, so we got another minute or so. I'm here, guys. I'm just wringing out this sphagnum moss because it's a bit messy over here. There. Got most of the excess water off of this. And we're back from ads in just 1 minute. So in 1 minute, we will get after putting our spag down. Got a little bit of extra really dry stuff right here, but this is really supposed to be for overgoing muck wall. But we're not building muck wall here. So we're just gonna have to use this stuff. Not sure we'll need all of it, but I'll start breaking it up a bit. So that we don't have any large clumps. Because when I press everything down, I want to press it down nice and evenly. Because this is the stuff. This is the stuff that all of our toppings are really going to want to grab onto and get buried in and planted inside of. So get to this in just 1 sec. We'll also mix in a little bit of very fine dirt that I have. It's really like broken down mulch, just very like fine mulch, but that helps grab dirt kind of in a muddy type of way. Okay, hey, yo, we're back from break. There we are. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out through break if you had to. Let's get right back into it. Let's spread out our sphagnum across this whole thing, okay? I just want like one solid mat across the whole thing. And after this has been wrung out, it was completely soaked, but now it's been wrung out and it actually is gonna spread nice and easy. Just like if I was putting it in a reptile tank or anything like that. That's what this stuff is also designed for, but it works so great for so many of the projects that we do. All right, so we're gonna have this sphagnum now right across the top here, not directly on the plant because I don't want it to rot any of the lower leaves or anything, because it will retain moisture, but that's a fairly thin coating of it after it gets pressed down. So I'll start pressing it. Press down in the middle and then get the edges. This thing just does it nice and evenly, so kind of using it to press down for me. Okay. Yep. And now we've got it all the way up just to the edge. See? Around the whole thing. And now what I'd like to do is get everything just a really nice, easy sprinkle of dirt after I press the middle down one more time. So that just lined up between the middle there. Perfect. And then make sure it's even here. Might have to redirect one of these leaves a bit. There, oh. I'm gonna have to redirect leaves. It'll go towards the sun wherever I put it down. And this will probably stay on top of my aquarium actually. It'll get just enough indirect sunlight to keep the moss alive. It's also a little bit of a more humid environment right on top of my aquarium, and I can just give it a spray down every day. I'll take the Legos off in case water damages Legos. I don't know if it would, but you know, Legos can have some weird characteristics where certain times direct sunlight and things will hurt them. This is very indirect sun, so should be a perfect little breeding ground for our moss. Where was that fine stuff we got? It's right here. All right, let me see. Just some nice fine dirt. Some fine art. And this is just gonna be a little sprinkling to make a little bit of like a mud for everything to grab onto henceforth. So, see how it's very fine, just very fine dirt. Especially get it around the outsides. I don't want any big pieces in the middle that could throw off the leveling of my bonsai. So there we go. There we go. Yeah, this is gonna really just make everything grab onto itself. Really fine stuff in the middle. Anything that's not fine, drop to the outside. Matter of fact, we can use a little more backfill on this side. Kind of all around that little plastic tub that I put this thing in. There, now you can't even see it. So we can go moss all the way up to this little thing. Perfect. Again, just light press at this point because everything's mixed in together. Okay, good. I like it. Now comes a very fun part, guys. If you guys feel like jumping in, you can let me know what decorations you like the best. So we're gonna start adding a little bit of decor to this thing. Can you guys see on the camera this corner up here? Let's see better like this. Let me get the clay out of here. I might have to start limiting myself to one project a night because it gets very hot in this room. All right, here's all our materials for tonight. We have way more than we need. and some fun stuff to choose from. And I'll try and hold things up kind of individually to show you as we add them. I'm gonna give this a spray really quick, because like I said, this is gonna make all of that sphagnum moss a little more moist again, and then it's gonna grab onto the dirt that we put on top, and all of this is just gonna grab on together and immediately kind of become one in its own. I am gonna put the plate in. So, plate goes right about here. And everything else can grow up around the plate because it even raises up off the plate by about that much. Beautiful. And this extra leaf is really gonna have to get redirected that way. Like after I put some water on it and weighed it down, it moved. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna swap these. Be careful not to break the tree, because then I'll have to spend part of the stream putting that back together. All right, so what are you guys feeling? Do you want to get a couple of little clovery areas on this side maybe? We don't have to use that much. Let me see what I got. Ah, this is interesting. It says lots of little clovers. I like this. And it's in nice little slivers. Look at that. So those are some nice pieces. I'll use those. This one can go right here. And see how it puffs up nicely? I want everything to have about that much lift. This is gonna work actually perfect around this corner. If I tuck it this way. Okay, and then it can continue around the corner to right here. I gotta make sure that there's a nice sharp edge, not a sharp edge, a nice distinct edge between the moss and the tray, because I want this Lego bonsai to go on there easy first time every time. So I'm gonna kind of just give it a little bit of a dominant push on each side once they're done, I think. There. This looks better going down under anyways. Just like that. Now, do we want to put in something a little taller? Let's see what I got. I mean, there's these little guys here. These have such deep tap roots, very deep tap roots. I'm probably gonna try and limit the amount of this that I use. Dug it all up from my yard and out of a couple of my trees even. Finding the perfect size little clover patch though is kind of fun. I think I'd rather go red. I've got some darker ones that are more red over here. And these are pretty much weeds. I get these from all corners of my garden and my collection. They are just literally everywhere. So I might be able to take just this bit here, this little bundle, kind of like this. See if I can dig like a little canal right here. Then we can surround it with moss. I just want to try and get these tap roots a little deeper into the ground so they have a fighting chance. Okay. So if I really bundle those up and stuff them in here. They're like all coming off this side. Probably gonna need to trim this but I still think it's a nice addition, so I'll put it in. All right, so that's been installed, more or less. So let's put a nice little bit of moss around it. See if I can find a nice straight strip of something that kind of contrasts. And I'm thinking that maybe this green stuff here contrasts nicely. And it'll even start to turn into another style of moss that I can have come around this side. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go like this and just kind of tuck around it. And then I think I need to grab just like a small bit to like put it right in front of it. Like under it. Here. There. Yeah, that helps hold everything in place and kind of bring it together. So we'll see how those do after they get a little bit of sunshine. Probably some stuff that can go. That looks like a weed there. This one I think is a little too long and lanky. So you got your little like original bundle here. It could use a little bit of cleanup of all these like individual pieces, but it's a little slow. It's just a bunch of little dead bits, but that adds some spillover character, and I can even bring it up to this spot right here and kind of lay it down like this so that it creeps across and down. If I have a little tiny piece of sticker wire, I would probably just put it right there. It's all right, I'll just hold it here for a sec. There's a stick right here. There. Just packing kind of everything down and into the corner here. Slightly more aggressive on it. I know I'm pressing on it hard, so it's gonna have to get a little bit of sunshine to like perk it back up, but it'll happen in one day, I promise. Everything keeps popping back in exactly one day. Oh, here's some creepy stuff that I found. Oh, this stuff is great. I love how this stuff looks. I'll just pop it into this corner here. It also has a very long taproot, but just like that should be nice and safe for it in this little corner. Yeah, when this stuff gets to moving, it looks really cool, but it was just that one tiny piece that I found. It was growing in one of my nursery pots, I think. So I'll leave some room for that to grow out, hopefully. And then I'm not gonna plant anything else too close to it because that could choke it out. So let's see what other varieties I have to play with here. I just have some really nice green strips. Some of this can go back onto the trees that are outside. And other of this is gonna look great in this piece. So I'm taking it, one sec. This is the stuff right here I want. This stuff is gas. All right, I'm gonna have to cut it into strips, but that's fine. And I'm just kind of removing some of the dropped pine needles. This looks like it came off of one of my pine trees. Oh, you know what? I think this was underneath my dead mugo. So I have a dead mugo outside, and I think I stole this from it, so perfect use. Or maybe I should say reuse. All right. Now I'm gonna have this kind of meet up here. We're gonna protect our little plant here by tucking it underneath so it doesn't dry out. Just like that, and then that melds those two pieces together nicely. And I just got to get this side tucked in enough that it doesn't die off on the edge. Because if the roots are outside of the edge of the basin and not getting the moisture that it needs, it's going to die off all along the edge, and I'm going to have to prune it back. And gotta have a nice tight little roll here. A lot of different textures. Look at it. Kind of just rolls from one to the next. Very cool. Huge variety. These two are kind of the same creepy moss, and it's gonna be that same stuff going kind of all the way around. Although this nice soft pillowy stuff is so nice right here too. I'll put a little of that just because I love this stuff. And it kind of blends in with that right there. Yep, I can feel it wanting to grab right on underneath. And once I wet everything down and push again, it will snag right in. Okay, so that individual plant right there is just very, very on its own, but I think some sun will do it well. Some indirect sun will do it well. I'll keep it outside tomorrow in indirect sunlight for the morning, for sure. This is gonna actually be a nice backdrop. So then this would kind of end up being our front. Whatever, I don't care what side's the front. Let's see, what's the last bit we're gonna put on? Probably just something simple going into the back. Piece like this. Already got all separated. I think that this should be a good piece to wrap all the way around if I just remove a little bit right here. And I lift the plant up. And I just tuck all around it in like that. And then I think I can actually spread this out just a bit more, make it a little more puffy. I'm going to try and puff everything up a bit by pushing it together and just adding in some more filler pieces. Puff it up, puff it up, puff it up. Might be able to go with a bigger filler here. Some of this stuff is very prime, large sheets that I'd like to put onto just another tree. Those pieces I'll leave intact. They're also a little bit brown. I wonder if I should have one more of these coming out this way. Maybe I'll just plant it right underneath the tray. I'll try that. We'll see if that works. I'm gonna literally plant this underneath the tray. And then if it weeds out, it doesn't really like get in the way of all of my... Oh, if anything, it'll start taking root with the spider plant in the corner. Interesting move. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, we just folded another layer in. Hell yeah, that looks so dope. Oh, that looks too dope. Oh my god. Ooh. Okay, guys, one more press in the center to make sure that we're properly set up. Yep, that all looks good. And it all reaches just above the level of the tray here. So what I can do is just take this, and we're gonna do a nice level, even level flat of lava rock here, the fine lava, and that's gonna be our base. This is a cool project. I don't know what made me think of this. Came to me in a dream. So you check that out. Just a nice even plateau of these that goes like almost as high as the little moss ball. Hopefully that's not too much there. But I almost want to fill this all the way in, like a candy jar, all the way to the edges. It's gonna hold all my edges, all my outer edge foliage in place. This piece is a little big. All right. Just kind of pushing at it with my fingers. There we go. All right, guys. Ready for the finished product? If you've been sticking with us, my 2 viewers, you're checking the finished product right now. Here it is. You ready? Boom. Okay. Let's get you guys a nice view. All right. So there it is. Kusamono Lego base. Is this a first time ever? Probably not. I'm sure somebody's done this before, but I thought it was a cool idea. After my ashtray yesterday, I thought I'd use my talents for good rather than evil, so. There you go, guys. Just a quick project to knock out tonight. There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Kusamono Lego Bonsai. Good close-up view for the short or whatever. It's pretty good like that, right? Here, move a little of the clutter out of the way, but obviously we were working here, so. All right, you guys ready for the turnaround for the short? Here it is. Kusamono Lego base. There it is. Got some natural moss and weeds from the yard. A little spider plant clone that has its own little growing system underneath. A little more cascading clover over on this side. One final type of lower matte but dense clover here. And one more creeper over here, but it's pretty small, so I'm not sure it's gonna last, but if it does, it'll start coming over the edge as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say like 4 different varieties of life in here. Very cool. All right, there it is. There it is, you guys. I think it turned out really cool. I think it turned out really, really cool. I'm gonna keep this thing alive as long as I can. I'll give you guys some updates and reports on it. And for now, I guess it's just gonna go up on top of the old aquarium here. I have to be careful that it doesn't lose lots of extra water, start leaking anywhere, but I've got a safety towel, so make sure that no dirt or anything falls in to the aquarium. Okay. Dude, this is so cool. And after I get everything kind of stabilized here, I'll be able to get it off this tray. But for now, that's where it'll stay perched right here, guys. There, maybe that's even a better look. There you go. I can grab a screenshot from that or something. There, so hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure had a fun time putting this project together. And so there it will stay for now. Oh boy. Alright. Okay guys, that was the quick project for the night. It was only a little over an hour. I know it was a quick one. Short session, but we'll get after more projects in upcoming days here. Just as a reminder, a recent cool thing that we knocked out here. A couple of days ago, we built this really awesome little miniature ashtray. There's a little tree in there as well. See, check this out up close. How do you like that? Kind of highlights from the last couple of days. This has that really beautiful pillowy moss right here too. I love that stuff. All right. Cool. That's gonna do it for tonight. That's gonna do it for tonight, guys. It was cool having you along to have some fun with just some goofy new projects. Cool having here. We're making this channel bigger and stronger every single day, you guys. We're getting more and more chatters. We're getting more and more visitors dropping through.